Welcome to a full review of the MSC World America. I'll be honest, this cruise was a shock to our system. We've had pretty mixed experiences on MSC before, so we didn't embark with high expectations. Let's start with some quick facts. MSC World America is almost 1,100 feet long and has a guest capacity of 6,700. It's actually the fourth largest cruise ship in the world, behind only the largest 3 ships from Royal Caribbean. Despite its massive size, it's surprisingly easy to navigate and offers a great balance of elegance and family fun. Let's start at the beginning. Boarding was seamless. I had heard drop-off happens in the parking lot, which sounded odd to me, but it actually made things faster and easier. We were on the ship in no time. Quick tip, if you have loyalty status with another cruise line or hotel, MSC offers status matching. Tim matched his Hilton Diamond to MSC Diamond, and the perks are well worth it. We were allowed to skip the line and walk right on board. Once in our cabin, we were greeted with champagne and chocolates, which was a nice touch. The Diamond tier also comes with a specialty dining meal, and this time we chose Butcher's Cut, the steakhouse. I'll get into more detail on that in a separate food review video. Speaking of food, there are over 20 dining venues on board, so definitely no shortage of options. One thing we didn't love was the outdoor seating at specialty restaurants. It's not truly outdoors, it's just outside the restaurant itself, right in the busy walkway. It felt awkward and lacked privacy. Definitely make a reservation because I'm pretty sure they put overflow seating out there. One major improvement from past MSC cruises is the included dining options. We especially love the pizza and burger spot. The food was excellent and it had a fun, casual vibe. The only downside, it doesn't open until 1:30 p.m., which is late for us since we usually have early dinner seating. So we mainly hit it up for a late night snack, which worked out fine as well. There's also a cute snack shack with cotton candy, popcorn, and small bites right near the dry slide. And something new is 2 separate buffets, one on deck 19 and one on deck 18. Deck 18 was always packed, so we usually went to deck 19, which was much more relaxed. Now, if you watch any of my videos, you know I am not a buffet fan, but if we're forced to have to eat there, the less people, the better. The layout of the World America makes so much more sense than other MSC ships. Everything felt intentionally designed. Each venue had its own vibe and it was spot on. Take the sports bar, for example. It constantly played games on the TV and had outdoor seating in the back and several activities and games. Across the way, the Sweet Temptations shop was so adorable. Now, they sell ice cream or gelato in here. It is an extra charge, but we enjoyed just walking around browsing. This venue also had outdoor seating with views of the wake. The World Promenade quickly became our go-to spot for mid-afternoon espresso martinis, snacks, or just relaxing without getting scorched by the Caribbean sun. At night, it came alive with live music and LED light shows. And speaking of the promenade, our promenade balcony cabin turned out to be a special surprise. It was the perfect combination of people watching, enjoying the live performances and light shows, and even catching a view of the ship's wake. We hadn't expected it to be so dynamic, but it turned out to be one of our favorite parts of the cruise. A favorite bar of ours is Dolce Vita, because it was centrally located and super convenient. They opened early so we could grab our morning Americanos, and the bartenders always remembered our order with a smile. The champagne bar only opened in the evenings, but had a secret outdoor space that you could utilize during the day. It's tucked away, so most guests probably miss it, but if you're looking for a quiet escape, this is your spot. Now, I'm not usually into cruise ship shopping because everything seems extremely overpriced and fancy or just your average souvenirs. But MSC truly impressed me here. From boutiques to duty-free and jewelry, all at different price points, there was truly something for everyone. I even found a designer bag I was really considering, but didn't end up buying it because they wouldn't price match with Bloomingdale's online. So I had to pass, but the shops were all quite large with tons of variety. All right, let's talk about activities for a moment. We did almost everything, but literally ran out of time to do it all. That's how much there was. The dry slide exceeded expectations. It was fast and fun, and most people came out laughing hysterically, which is always a good sign. The swing over the water looked kind of gimmicky, but it was so much fun. It was like a park swing, but higher, and you don't have to do any of the work. I made the mistake of doing it while we were at port, and I've heard it's way more intense when the ship is moving. And some people even felt seasick, which honestly made me want to try it again, but I ran out of time. The water slides were another highlight. Tim and I and our kids love good water slides, and nothing's better when it's scorchingly hot outside. The drop slide was intense, and I rode it multiple times. There was a 2 ride that you could ride double or single, but I want to note it was a lot faster when we rode together because of the weight. There's also a racing body slide, and that was probably the least of my favorites, and maybe it was just because I had never won. They had an awesome ropes course, which was elevated from what I had been on before. I love these kind of fun physical challenges and really enjoyed myself. Another thing, free activities can be hard to find on cruises this day, but Tim and I both agreed that MSC really delivered here. They also had bumper cars that we never got to try because sadly, we ran out of time, even on a 7-night cruise. Bonus tip, there is a hidden elevator in this activity area that goes directly between the top decks and Deck 8. This was super handy, and not many utilized it. Let's talk about the shows. There were tons of options, from comedy and late night parties to multiple full-scale productions. This ship had 2 theaters, which means there were even more shows to enjoy. Honestly, from everything I heard on board, you can't go wrong with any of the shows. Everything we saw in the main theaters was high quality and family friendly. All right, let's talk about Wi-Fi for a minute. This is a very important aspect for many people nowadays, and we thought that the Wi-Fi included in our cruise fare actually worked really great. I could stream content without a streaming package, but there is a downside. It only worked on 1 device, which that's typical. I get it, but you couldn't switch once it was registered, which was really inconvenient. Had we known this in advance, we may have chosen a different device. The MSC app was also helpful. You could see the entire week's dining room menus and plan in advance. There were deck maps to help you get around, and you could make reservations for dining and shows. It did freeze a couple times, so we were stuck with absolutely no information, but overall it worked well. One thing I didn't love was that most venues only had QR code menus, but you could ask for paper menus and they typically had them available. Now I just want to talk about a couple disappointments, and there really wasn't much. As you can see, we truly loved this ship. I gotta start with the wine list. If you watch any of my videos, you know wine is one of my favorite indulgences, and it was so basic. Typically, it's basic options that are included with your drink package, but then there's always options to upgrade. Well, not on this ship. I tried at the main dining room, and I even tried to buy a fancier glass of wine at a specialty restaurant that had a nice list, but they politely declined since I wasn't dining there. I couldn't just buy a glass of wine a la carte. Why is it so hard to get wine on this ship, MSC? I was willing to pay. Also, the towel exchange. You receive 2 towels in your cabin, and you have to exchange them through your room steward. That is a pain, especially after a beach day and your towels are full of sand and you want to head to the pool and you have to bring these sandy towels, unless you want to walk back to your room Call your room steward, tell him immediately to meet you at your room with fresh ones while you wait, and that just seems silly. So we always had to bring our sandy wet towels with us anywhere we went, and I prefer being able to do a towel exchange right at the pool. One positive that I will say is it definitely discouraged people from saving chairs at the pool. Another disappointment. This is just as disappointing as every other MSC ship we have been on is the spa. One of our diamond perks is we get 2 hours at the spa, so we always try to check it out, see if it's something that is worth paying an upgrade for in the future. It was a miss for us. It's located in dark, closed-off spaces. Everything felt cramped with people, and even though I wanted to try those heated loungers everyone raved about, they were all saved by chair hogs, just like cruise ship pools. We checked out all the spaces, probably stayed a max of 15 minutes, and left. I personally prefer spas that feel open and relaxing with windows and natural light. In the end, MSC World America surprised us in the best way. It blends European flair with American convenience and offers family fun and grown-up spaces, and gives you a lot for your money. Yes, there are a few flaws and you won't necessarily love everything, but for the overall experience, we can't wait to get on board again. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in sailing on this ship and if you've sailed on an MSC ship before. I shared a lot of information, but you may still have questions, so go ahead and ask. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more cruise tips, reviews, and ship tours.